Hey everyone! So today I'm going to finally bring to you my January wrap up. Sorry, it's a bit into February, being the 5th of February. But you know, February is a short month, so every day really counts, though this year we get a leap day. I did tease on Twitter that I was thinking of doing something really awesome for my wrap-up videos. It's gonna take a little more time, and I think what I had planned is gonna be a separate video altogether, so I just thought I'd go ahead and do my wrap-up video just because if I included what I wanted to and what I'm about to talk to you, the video would be pretty long. So stay tuned for the future. Hopefully we'll get that out soon, at least working on it. And yes, I'm being like totally vague on what my idea for this was. So for the month of January, I read a total of 5 books, which is not too bad. It's not bad at all. I just wish I had read a little bit more, but now looking at all this, that's a lot of pages. Getting to the first book, I read Passenger by Alexander Bracken. This came out this month and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know what else to say about this book. I have a review on it already up on my channel. You can click here to go see it. But basically all my thoughts and feelings about this are in that video. I'm not going to rehash it even more here. It was alright. Next, I read Red Shirts by John Scalzi, and this is the first book of 2016 that I gave a 5 stars to. This was incredible. I really love this book, and it was so meta. If that is a word to describe this book, meta. Just, ooh, there. I can't really go into like some of the things I loved about this book and my thoughts and feelings as I was reading it because they're kind of spoilery. There was one point something like is revealed, and I was like, I called it. Yep, me, I called it. I knew it. I called it. And I wasn't disappointed in that. It was really fun. This was a very, very fun read. If you like sci-fi and, you know, you're all into Star Trek or other things, this was really, really nice. I do have a con to point out, and that was there's 5 characters that you really get involved with, sort of. Like, there's 5 new members to this ship, the main character being one of them. And they, other than the main character and the one female, they all seem to like blend together, trying to figure out who is who. Like, they're just a little blah, but there was a reason for it, and it kind of redeemed itself in the end. It was almost a 4-star, but it redeemed itself in the end for reasons I cannot explain without spoiling it. Spoiling it. I can't say the word spoiling properly, but yeah. I definitely recommend this as a nice, fun read to read. The next book I read was Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This took me a while to get through just because, you know, I read it a little bit here, a little bit there. This is a book that's told from the point of view of text messages, sort of like IMing, and there's also audio transcripts of interviews and transcripts of videos. Things like that, similar to what The Dead House by Don Kurtikich that I read back in October was like, and I really like that format. I think it's very unique and interesting. This was definitely a fun read to get through. A little difficult at times, some of that you just want to like bypass through, but the first part of it was hard to get into, but definitely like the last 60-50% of it was very gripping, and you just wanted to know what was happening next. But you probably know that. I'm like the last person to have read this. I gave Illuminae I think a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read for RibSat, and that was Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes. This I gave a 3 out of 5 stars to. I found myself really flying through it. I was really able to skim read a lot of it just to get through the motions and stuff like that. It wasn't as good as Fallen Kingdoms, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. I think Jonas is a very, very lucky idiot. Just want to point that out. I know in other people's reviews they found that the wordiness of it was very repetitive. Like Marinus from My Name is Marinus did a review on it, which I found was very interesting, and I found I didn't really notice a lot of the things that other people picked on, and that's probably because I just like sped read it. So there's that. I definitely will be continuing on with the next book, Gathering Darkness, just not right now. The last book I finished was The Night Gwen Stacy Died by Sarah Bruni. This is also I read during RibSat, and this I have trouble explaining what the heck this is. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars, so I really liked this book. It's about first loss, first love, and finding our real identities. This is about a girl who lives in Iowa, and she finds her life very boring. She works at a gas station. She doesn't get a lot of like the day-to-day nuances of being a teenager. Like there's the spring dance coming up and she's like, and I care. She is learning French and she has a goal to move to France, to Paris. And a lot of her family is like, why? Like they don't understand her decisions for what she wants to do. And she comes across this guy, like he's a regular customer at this gas station, and she's seen his ID because she's at the Stump Smokes, and his ID says Peter Parker. It's just like, obviously it's fake because, you know, whatever. So this story revolves around them meeting up and spending a little bit more time with each other. They do end up running away together, even though he's a lot older than her, and they might be did something illegal while they ran away, so might have involved the gas station. I'm not gonna say any more than that. So there's living that life and dealing with identities. Like she takes on the persona of, like the main character's name is Sheila, but she takes on the persona of Gwen Stacy to his Peter Parker, sort of. It's complicated, but I really enjoyed the story. I did. It's one of those stories that you just need to experience. I do have 2 honorable mentions for this wrap up. The first being The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I did read 9 pages of this and decided that nope. I said, I read the first 9 pages and I wasn't really liking, I wanted to say the writing style, but I think it's more of like the tone and the accent of the main character, I guess. It was just like a lot of grammatical things and I just was not feeling it at all. So if I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna force myself to read it. I could pick it up at a later date, I don't know, but for now it's a DNF after 9 pages. It just wasn't for me and I wasn't gonna force myself to get into a reading slump over it. So it went back on my shelf. Second honorable mention is Stormfront by Jim Butcher. This is the first book in the Dresden Files. I really love this series. I don't know if you can see the spine. I'll do a close-up. As you can see, the spine is very well worn, and you know, I've read this book many times. I give this an honorable mention because I read 50% of this book before February ended, so I finished this in February, but I'll get to this in my February wrap-up and maybe even do a review of it. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed the books I've read. I found that I really wanted to read all the books and I just didn't have time to read all the books, so there's that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!